My grandpa was a woodworker, and I always wanted to follow in his footsteps. Unfortunately, he passed in 2020 before he could teach me, but what he left me was a lifetime worth of tools. So now I have a new plan, to learn from him anyway, guided by his tools, his notes, and all of the crazy gadgets he created over the years. And that journey starts here, with unpacking in my new shop. This is my garage. As you can see, it's a bit messy, dysfunctional, and honestly just frustrating to be in. So we're going to transform it into Grampa's Shop 2.0, a space to learn, make mistakes, and create something cool. It's not the prettiest, newest garage on the block, but it's functional, and it's one of my most prized possessions. I'm fortunate enough to have my uncle here, who has built a business on woodworking and towed almost everything you see across the country to my doorstep, so I don't intend to let any of it sit idle. After talking through some ideas, we got to work building out some frames that will eventually become shelves to replace the dodgy one on the right-hand wall. Honestly, I feel like I'm doing this scrap of wood a favor by even classifying it as a shelf to begin with. This project was relatively simple, but there was a lot of learning involved for me. Aside from a few basic level woodworking classes in high school, I don't have very much experience. Luckily, that inexperience is balanced out by an almost unhealthy level of enthusiasm for learning new skills. Like this one, for example. I hadn't used a table saw in nearly a decade, and I was pretty nervous. But with my uncle cheering me on and Grandpa's notes to guide me, I quickly felt comfortable, and I even started to have some fun. I continued building out all 7 frames while my uncle went to take a nap. Along the way, I did a couple little dances and took a phone call or two, but in the end, we got her done, and that rounded off the first day. Now on to day 2, where we're actually ready to start putting some holes into the walls. We started by marking out the studs and attaching a backboard to the wall for the shelves to rest against. Then we got the frames from yesterday and put them up, making sure to check for level religiously. Today, I also decided to wear my grandpa's old work hoodie. It's got wood glue smeared all over it and the zipper doesn't close, but I love it just the same. We also used a couple of long brace pieces to help us keep things lined up and secure while we attached everything to the wall. While this project seems pretty simple from the outset, it has a lot of meaning behind it. I've been nervous to start building projects, building a channel, and building confidence in my skills. It's hard to know where to begin when you're just starting out, so I'm extremely grateful to have the chance at Grampa's Shop 2.0, and I'm looking forward to all of the lessons I'll learn in it. We also put together a simple box stand for the drill press to get it up to working height. Here you can see us getting the drill press in place and my uncle giving me a rundown on how to use it. I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of mistakes during this project. I struggled to keep the drill seated on the screw and it kept flying off and denting the wood. It was super frustrating. But in the end, I fixed this problem by going slow and steady and trying to keep my body behind the drill so I had better line of sight to the screw I was driving. I also have a lot of trouble visualizing things, so we worked from a number of sketches to make sure I was on the right page. In the end, things went pretty smoothly, and now I'm ready to bring those lessons into the next project. Day 3 was all about building out the bench for the table saw. Unfortunately, the little one attached to it is pretty much useless, so we're gonna build something much more functional for this space. We swapped the original 2x3 offcut bench for a 4x8 bench that will double as a mobile work surface thanks to the casters we put on the bottom. I still need to be able to park a car in this garage, so being able to tuck the table away when it's not being used is super helpful. In the next couple of days, I'll sand the top and give it a coat or two of varnish, and it'll be ready to use. After 3 action-packed days, we're left with a super functional, storage-efficient garage space that brings Grandpa's tools back into the spotlight. With everything organized, I'm ready to tackle what's next. The journey itself is a mystery, but the why is right there in Grandpa's old motto, because any axhole can buy a new one.